Welcome everyone to AEPA pre-bid conference call for bid number 24 and for the category of digital display solutions. So I'm Jane Easties and I am the bid coordinator and chair of the AEPA solicitations committee. And I just want to welcome you, and I just want to start today with a little bit about what we'll do. We'll have a few minutes of just an overview of AEPA. So this is a rebid category. So some of you may be very familiar with AEPA, but there are some new faces and new companies. So we'll do a quick overview and then turn it over to the bid chair to talk about this particular category of digital display. And then we'll open it up for all of your questions. So I'll just get started. This, I think, I'm not sure if she said it, but we are recording this. So a recording will be uploaded probably in the next day or two after all of our sessions are done here. So you can go back and listen to any questions that you may have. Also, if you could put your name and the name of your company in the chat, that would help us immensely. We really appreciate that. AEPA, the Association of Educational Service Agencies, has been around since the year 2000, and we are currently 29 states and growing. We are one nonprofit or governmental agency from each one of the 29 states that comes together to do these solicitations at least once a year. Bid 24, again, is our 24th solicitation. We always have multiple categories under each. This particular year, we have eight categories, of which digital display is just one. We have been working together to issue these simultaneous solicitations for a long time. It makes sense to combine our volume, and not only our volume, but our local presence, so that we have a reach that's basically through all 50 states through different partnerships. But we have a very, we have an in with each one of the public agencies in our state. So we represent thousands of public agencies, and our members are public school districts, cities, counties, and in most of our states, we can offer these contracts to nonprofits. Currently, we represent well over $700 million in volume, running through contracts in 28 different categories. So we have grown. Our goal is to reach $1 billion in volume, and we are closing in on that goal. As you can tell, we want to bring value to you as vendors. You only have to respond once to an indefinite quantity, indefinite delivery bid, and reach many thousands of public entities. And also our goal is to provide value to our members, obviously, where they are looking for the best value and the things that they need to purchase with public funds. So that's just a little bit about a little bit of an overview of AEPA. I will say that we are largely a volunteer organization, which definitely sets us apart from other large national cooperatives. We do have a paid executive director, George Wilson, and we have bid managers, of which Melissa Matson is here with us today, and Lisa started us out, who help us through the whole bid process. But otherwise, we work year-round in a fairly sophisticated committee structure. So you heard me mention the solicitations committee. We meet every other week or so. And there's many administrative committees. Tina Smith from Kansas here is currently the president of AEPA. So we are working year-round on these bids and contracts. And certainly we have the category committees as well. Getting down to the nitty-gritty of this particular bid, that what you were probably looking to hear, we do use an online portal for all of our bids. So the first thing that you'll need to do, if you haven't already, is to make sure that you have gone on Public Purchase. That's the name of our online portal. Registered and associated yourself, your company, with AEPA so that you can see our bid documents. We do not accept any paper, so you'll do all of your work through public purchase portal. You will download the bid documents. There's an opportunity to ask written questions through public purchase where everyone sees the responses. And this is where you'll be uploading your response. Just a note that if you haven't been on public purchase before, you'll see a paid option. You do not need to pay for this. There's a free option, sign up for free, and you can access the AEPA bids. If you're hesitant, there are step-by-step instructions on the AEPA website. If you go to aepacoop.org under vendors and solicitations and registration, you will find a step-by-step. Here's how you get on public purchase and here's how you access bids. So pretty easy. We can put those in the chat as well, how to get to that site. Okay, so once you get to AEPA or to public purchase and see the AEPA bids, you will notice a number of documents. Please do not let that intimidate you. It's not as difficult as it looks, and we step you through the process. So you will see 6 different parts to download. The first 3 parts are largely informational. So part A are just the terms and conditions that you're used to seeing probably in most of the bids if you respond to bids. And gives you a little bit more about solicitation number 24 and the terms and conditions. Part B are the technical specifications. That's probably where you spend a little bit more of your time. And this is where you'll find the scope of work for digital display. You'll find what we're looking for and what our minimum specifications are and for this particular category. Part C are the individual state terms and conditions. And then the second 3 parts will kind of lead you through your response. So these are the parts you want to make sure that you've gone through and put detail into. Part D is a required questionnaire. It'll start out with pretty much fill in the blank, but please be aware that there will be questions where we're asking you either to upload more information or we're looking for a lot of detail. So feel free to add as much as possible. This is where we're finding out about you as a vendor, how you're organized, structured, how long you've been in the industry, so that you're telling us how you work and how you might work with AEPA. Part E are required signature forms, and because many of our members use federal funds, there's a couple of forms that about EGA compliance that you do need to sign off on, and then just general sign-offs on the bid response as well. And last but not least, probably the most important part is part F, which are a series of Excel workbooks. And this is really where you're going to tell us how and what your pricing is and what your value is to the member, what the discounts are as a result of the bid. So we ask that you use these. You can certainly add more lines if you need. Give us as much information as you possibly can about your pricing. The committee will use these in evaluation, and it's helpful to us if they're in an Excel format. So that's why we've provided those. Again, don't let it intimidate you. You can download them and work with them and ask questions. So the next thing is we encourage you after this call, you'll have a chance to talk to us directly, but after this call, we only accept written questions. And if you go on public purchase, you can ask your question. We'll work with the committee to craft a response, upload that, and everyone will see the question and the response. The last day for written questions is August 28th. And then the responses, the full responses are due September 12th at 1:30 Eastern time, where we will close down the public purchase site and take all the responses. and check them for completeness, and then they're sent to the category committee for a full evaluation. That category committee will look at all of the responses and the pricing and send their recommendations for either one or more awards to the full board. Before that, though, the recommended vendors will be notified by October 23rd. So that you know ahead of our full board meeting whether you will be recommended or not. And then the committee will present their findings to the full board at our winter meeting, which is November 27th, 28th in California. Those who are recommended will have an opportunity to join us at that meeting. And then the full board will vote on acceptance, and then each state each participating state will complete a contract with the recommended vendor. Okay, that was a lot of very quick information. So feel free to ask more questions. We do have more information on our website. And of course, we encourage you to go to public purchase. And I'm going to turn it over to Johnny as the chair to talk about the solicitation committee or the category committee.
Chair is actually Tina. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
Tina, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay, Johnny's on the committee. Tina, you are the chair.
Right. Yes. And Johnny, thank you for jumping on. Thank you all for joining us today to learn more about this category. Jane did a great job with the overview of AEPA and what the solicitations look like. I will say that AEPA does a great job really walking you through how to submit a response. So I'll just say on the front end, please, if it's required information, please include it in your response and do your best job to include any and all information, anything that meets the scope of this particular category, include it in your response. It's just super important. This category has been a successful category for AEPA for at least 10 years. So it is a rebid, as Jane mentioned. What we're looking for are interior and exterior digital display solutions and related services. So when you think about digital display, scoreboards, message displays, video, digital billboards, digital street furniture, intelligent transportation systems, dynamic message signs, sound systems, digit and price displays, space availability displays, indoor LCD signage, LED video walls. Those are the categories or the items that we've identified. It is not limited to that. If there is something that falls within a digital display category, and maybe it's new technology that we haven't thrown in here, I would encourage you to include it if it's part of your catalog offering. We will be looking at services as well, and there will be an opportunity for you to respond with professional service, project management, what's the install, software licensing, implementation, any technical support, marketing services, those kinds of things. That is the scope. Who can respond if you are a manufacturer of these items, if you are a dealer, if you are part of a dealer network, just know that whichever way you respond, if you are a part of a dealer network, you will be expected to identify, who those individuals or who those representations will be to the contract, as well as any subcontractors that would work to complete the work. What I read through as far as scope, I mean, that's a pretty big scope. That's a lot of stuff that falls under digital display solutions. So just know that we know there could be companies that can perform in all of those areas, but we also know that there are companies that could perform in a subset of those area. So we encourage you to submit your proposal for the subset of any of those items that your company provides, either the equipment, hardware, accessories, supplies, and any of the services. It is set up as a catalog. So again, if your entire catalog falls within this, we would like for you to consider proposing your entire catalog. If you have other components within your book of business, then we're looking for the catalog specific to this scope. And I will say, already mentioned the forms, Jane mentioned the forms that were so important, but we do provide some great instructions on how to get those done. The pricing workbook is set up with tabs. So within the workbook, there are a few different sheets. One sheet is for you to provide your category discounts. One is to provide all of the items in your commercially available catalog, and that's set up where you put the MSRP price, the discount that you're proposing, and then the net bid price to AEPA. Another tab, you will list your services. So, installs, any of those things that are listed in there, there's an opportunity for you to include those. And then there's a final tab that gives you an opportunity to tell us if you're going to offer volume discounts. And so with volume discounts, just think it doesn't exceed a certain, threshold of amount, quantity, whatever that is. You have an opportunity to say, this is what we propose for discount percentages, but for large projects, we can do a little bit better. I'm going to stop there because I want to be sure we have enough time for questions, and there's a good amount of information that I feel like you will need to read, and it's all in the documents, and you have the opportunity to take advantage of those online questions. And sometimes it's like a fire hose coming at you today. It's a lot of information, but I'm sure you will have more questions as you read through the documents. But like I said, there is an open question that we'll be able to answer in written form once we get off this call. So I'll stop there and see what questions there are for the committee.
Thanks, Tina. And I will just say, this is not a large group. You can just start talking. You could use the raise your hand emoji, or you can put your question in the meeting chat as well.
This is all like, I can't figure out where the hand emoji is on my screen, so I apologize. But if I could just ask a question real fast. And I apologize if you maybe already alluded to it, but purely from the administrative standpoint of view, if we are only able to do a part of the proposal, the sections that we do not do we need to explicitly say no, not applicable, or just skip them, or just define in the maybe cover letter that, hey, we're only responding to A, B, and C and not the rest? Like, what would be the best and easiest way for you to know that this is what we're just focused on and not the rest of the items? I hope I'm asking it right. Thank you.
Jane, do you want me to take that? Okay. So you could, all of the above, you could identify that in your cover letter. You would then identify it. So in the catalog discount sheet of the workbook, that's an easy place to put maybe, and I'm just going to make things up, maybe you're providing scoreboards, dynamic message signs, and one other thing. You list those in there, and then you categorize them within your full sheet. So it should be really easy or clear, I should say, for the committee to know what you're proposing within those that scope.
Okay, thank you.
There are two questions in the chat. The first one is, this bid for all 29 states AEPA covers?
In the bid specification, you'll see a chart for all participating states. And so, yes, we do ask that you cover those that say that they are participating.
Second question from the chat is, will the installation section of this bid be an hourly cost or a flat rate per equipment / project?
So within the specifications for this category, what we've asked for is pricing for installation. It can be either an hourly rate or it can be a percentage of project cost. What the proposer will need to do is specify how your install or your other services are priced within that services worksheet. If it's something else, another method, then we'll need you to clearly describe, explain, give us a breakdown of how your services are priced.
Thank you.
While we're waiting for questions, and so there's just not dead space there, I will add that awarded vendors to AEPA contracts have the benefit of working with what we feel is the one true cooperative, national cooperative. We are a cooperative of partners across the US, and you will have the benefit of working directly within those states with people that know the entities and have hold the relationships for those educational entities, organizations, public entities, any of those eligible entities to the contract.
A question in the chat: who is the current contract holder?
We have one awarded vendor for the last contract term, and that is Daktronics.
Is this bid normally just awarded to one company or multiple? How does that normally work?
It was awarded, it was a single award in the last bid cycle, but it is not subject only to a single award. It's really going to be determinant on the number of quality proposals, those that meet the scope, and things that help us meet the varied needs of states and entities across the US. So it would be hard to say whether or not it would be awarded as a single award or a multiple award, because it really is determinant on the quality of proposals that we receive.
Understood. Thank you.
A question from the chat: are you open or will you facilitate partnerships between vendors to accomplish the goal of the RFP?
Oleg, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If I understand your question 100%, that is what we do. We want to partner and facilitate those relationships with our vendor partners that are awarded contracts. And I will add to that, while we're waiting for more questions, the benefit of AEPA is that we invite our vendor partners to attend our board meetings. We meet twice per year. Vendor partners, we actually expect them to attend those meetings with us. It's a great opportunity to be in the same space, network, partner, get more information, all of those things.
Just a reminder too, if that question pops into your head an hour from now or next week, or as you're going through, please do go on and write your question on public purchase. It's helpful to everyone, and there's no limit. So we do encourage you to understand this as best you can, so you can put together the best proposal.
What time of year are those two meetings typically?
They are normally, we have a winter and a spring meeting. So we usually meet right after Thanksgiving, the latter part, the last few days of November. And then we meet again in April, about the third week of April.
All right, and those will go out on notification similar to the one that we got for this meeting.
Yes, we publish a meeting notification, and we have a system of, getting both our members and our vendors registered, and all of that. So yes.
Great, I appreciate it.
I will add a little bit to Jane's comment that if you haven't downloaded the documents yet, please do that and give yourself the best opportunity of time to, read through them, to get those questions in there and help us get you the needed answers.
We just have a few more minutes, so last call for any questions.
Question in chat, what category is this bid listed under in public purchase?
I can take that. It's 024F Digital Display Solutions.
I think we're coming up on time here, so we want to thank everyone for the time that you've given us today, and we'd be happy to answer more questions written online. Thank you, and we hope to see responses from you.